Early in the week, I told him I didn't want to hear snake stories.
Oh.
I'm gonna go around the corner and get Chief when I see one.
Yeah.
They don't bother me.
Yeah, he can get something over it.
Yeah.
Braver than I am.
I didn't wait, I didn't try to see what their head looked like, I just get tools out. They tried to go into the grass again, I told them too much.
Yeah,
Down the road, the dog came over.
I locks the door like the snake got hands. Can't do that.
I can't tell you how many times I've left a good fishing day over a snake.
Shoot, I was kayaking on the river last year, pulled up to a tree to tie off to where the snake is. The snake had to leave because I needed the tree. So he got snagged with the fish and swam off and I tied off.
I'm going on down the river.
Ma'am.
I said, I don't get to give you my condolences. Thank you. Going to your mom.
Tony, you should have seen that.
Thank you. Here we got it.
Encouraged?
Yeah. Yes, for sure.
I said, I'll see y'all later. I'm going.
60+ years of her stuff, and it's just a lot.
I know. Been there and done.
I got my nieces and nephews and brothers and sisters like, come and get everything you want. I ain't got room in my house. So
You don't
just,
realize how much stuff we gather
oh yeah.
until I still got my mom's.
Yeah, probably in boxes.
13 years. No, I've been trying to downsize it. You want to hold on to it because it's sentimental. I don't want to talk. Look at that. I don't look at snake pictures because then I'll be dreaming about them on me at night. Oh, I won't even look.
Clock's fast. It's only
I'm not
5:59.
looking at that. How are you doing that? Did you have that as a pet or was you just
No, I was at the Promenade Mall. And I asked him.
He wasn't afraid
You
of snakes.
really had that around you?
Yeah, he comes out of that house with a snake. He comes out, I said, I will shoot you.
I tried to get my granddaughter riding on him.
I will kill you, so go away.
You just a snake.
I used to catch them all the time on the river and stuff like that. Came around the neck. Yeah. My mom didn't care for it.
So I'm gonna ask you like I asked Kelly. He said, look at it, and you could tell. I said, text it right now to see if it's a forest snake or not.
Well, it's usually pretty good to know whether it's poisonous or not, because if it bites you, you don't want to know whether.
But who don't look? Oh wait, Mr. Snake, I need to look at you.
Well, I've been there before, but
I was gonna say a real snake.
no,
Did you message her?
no, it was just a bull snake
messed
that I
back?
carried, and he just bit me on the arm.
You got a little snake, and you had him around your neck.
Yeah.
Like your family across the street from me that I want to. Me and Lindsay's gonna have a talk. Because they have a king snake in their backyard.
Yeah.
And I'm not playing with babies. I'm hurting.
We got one in our garage named Oscar.
Wait. You got a snake in the garage?
Yeah.
And
Keeps
you don't
the,
bother?
no, it takes care of the mice and all that stuff.
There she is. Patrick just said you're on your way and you walked in.
And so
His name is Oscar. Kelly named it. Huh?
how big is this thing?
Oh, last time we seen it was about that.
And you just let it run like a dog. I'm done.
We don't see it all the time ever when we're in the
It's
garage.
there.
But,
Right?
huh?
But it's there.
Yeah. We go one way, he goes the other.
Y'all
We
stress.
go about our business.
Y'all stress me. I just can't do it. Literally. Your daughter said, if I hear you scream. If I hear you scream. I said, Liz, you hear me scream? You come around.
I was excited to
Do
see me.
snakes.
Hey, I asked him to text you, so
Oh, really? I was walking down the hallway barely. You know, it takes old people a long time to get down the hallway.
all right, everybody ready? I'd like to call the City of Wagoner special call business meeting, July 23rd, 2025, at 6:02.
Item number 1, consider purchasing workers' compensation insurance for city employees or take other action.
Lori.
Okay, I went out for several quotes in an attempt to give us some options, and everything was said and done. I gave you guys a memo with the options that we were attempting to go for. The only one that came in that actually gave us a quote was $70,000 higher than the OMAG quote. So I suggest we stick with OMAG for this year at least. I did also give you guys the loss run report through the years on how much each net payment was and total incurred.
At 7,000 more, is it?
70.
Oh, 70? Oh,
It's,
Public Works
I'm
and the
sorry.
city?
Yes, sir.
So what we have is for both, not.
Yes, sir.
You see it? You see where,
yeah, I walked out looking at it now, I don't know where I
no.
Put it at.
The
letter
the
thing.
front part memo.
Thank you.
The term dates, are those, is that just for the quote? Like, do you have to look at last year's to get this next year?
Yes. Yes, they do all of last year's numbers in order to quote for the following year.
Okay.
So technically, it's kind of like a year behind almost.
I do like the loss run reports and make sure that we're not, that's my liability. We're gonna charge more.
What does other municipalities use? Just local, like? Pryor?
Majority of them use OMAG. I got desperate and started calling every city I could possibly think of, and majority of them hit me with OMAG. One hit me with Brown & Brown, and that's where I found this person to help me get these quotes. And then another person hit me with a company out of Texas. I spoke with them. They don't have any in Oklahoma. They only provide for Texas, so.
So our best bet at this time would be recommending staying with the OMAG. Further discussion? Entertain a motion?
I'll make a motion to use OMAG for workers' compensation insurance.
Have a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Butler?
Yes.
Sampson?
Yes.
Wilson?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Wagoner?
Yes.
Thomas?
Yes.
North?
Yes.
Higginbottom?
Yes.
Thank you.
Item number 2 is discussion and planning of City of Wagoner budget for fiscal year 2025-2026.
You want to take it from there?
Nothing's changed. I don't really have anything to present. Maybe, I guess I'd do the floor for discussion.
Any discussion? Anyone? You got one?
Yeah.
Just let me know so I don't move on.
Would we not need to update the sales tax numbers on here? says 3.5, but then the state says on the same day we redid the second book, June 9th, this is 5,027,000. So it's,
Would you like me to address that?
Yes, go ahead.
So on the sales tax on the general fund, there's also sales tax that's in the EDF fund, because a half a cent is dedicated to that. So you would have to add those two numbers together, and it's a little over 4 million. 90% of revenues has to be acquired before you expend. Let me see how to put this. If you do not want to expend, or you do not want to budget every revenue dollar you have, because there is a rule about 90%. If you do not receive all the revenues up to 90%, then you're not able to expend that money, if that makes any sense. If you budget for X amount of number and you don't reach up to the 90, then you can't expend what you have budgeted until those are reached. So you don't want to go out to the very last. Also, if we was to have another pandemic, or say Walmart catches fire July 1, you don't want to account for those dollars. You want to be as conservative as possible with the city's money.
Just a question, just because you said, so, but wouldn't we want to account for everything we have, but we still know, you know, the threshold of that 90%, but, I mean, I would think it would be good for us to know exactly what it is, you know, not what we're gonna spend, right? I mean, I think it just shows that we know exactly, even though we know we have more, we can't spend all of it, right? So I would think it would be kind of good to see what we have and then not, for sure.
Well,
I mean,
you do see in your budget financials, on your monthly balance, your year-to-date, you see it in your audit. And those funds that, you know, if we do the 3.5 million and we exceed that, those funds go directly into cash on hand to build the next year's budget.
It's just a projection.
And I believe we could also be high on numbers.
Right,
Our budget is coming in lower than what we'll probably end at the end of the day. We should be actually higher on those totals, because you don't know, like, probably use for example is in July, but at one time we had that marching band show up at the 4th of July celebration. Well, did they stop at McDonald's or
right.
QT or something, get something along those lines, you know? So it's, we're comfortable where we're at. Our revenue should be higher, or very close to what we're predicting on this budget.
Yeah, I guess I get what he's saying. I would definitely want to see it whenever we're going through the budget, you know, because then we will,
But you don't have it.
so it's just a.
It's just a
You,
projection.
yeah, you can't tie it down to the exact penny,
Well,
because
what is this, I mean.
it
it's not a
goes to the
discrepancy.
end of June.
I was gonna say, it's not a discrepancy, but what was the difference in, you said 5 something and then
Yeah.
4? So
well,
it's about
and
a
then the
million.
one we printed off for the public was still, it had the same date for the date that we put it in the newspaper, or the state, so, newspaper,
Okay.
and it's still $1 million off.
So that,
Still
I
says
guess a million is a lot.
But last year was.
If it's that, I don't know, I'm just, a million's a lot of money to, I mean, even though we may not spend it, but if we know.
But
we-
I don't think we
Yeah,
are
yes.
off that.
Okay.
If you listen to Laura, she's trying to explain that.
You do not want to put the total amount in there in case you do not reach that amount. If you have a catastrophe, natural disaster, like I was talking about, Walmart gets taken out, that's your number one retailer.
It's a reserve.
If you put that number at 5 million and you don't hit it, because you got a balanced budget. So every expenditure you have out there, like payroll, you know, paying GRDA, well, not GRDA, just supplies and whatnot, okay? If you don't hit that, then you're gonna have to go back and revise and take that budget down because you can't pay the bills.
And I mean, I get that, I get what you're saying, for me, it's, I want to, if I have a company and I have $5 million, I know my threshold is $4 million. I will not go above that in case of what you're saying, but as far as like having it for our budget, that will, we
Andy,
know we're not gonna go over that, but if it's not in here, then how do we know?
you look in the book that you're provided every single month. It has your every month in it and your year-to-date,
Okay.
okay? And you can compare that to your budget when you go over it.
I would like to have it in this when we move forward, because I mean, it's potentially $1 million, maybe,
And what's,
it's a projection.
what is up and above that 350 mark is in cash on hand. If we had raised that and expended out more, you wouldn't have had that money to make next year's budget.
What, but we still don't, I get what you're saying, and what I'm saying, we don't have to spend it. We could say, we got 5 million, projected 5 million, we're only spending 4 million. The rest of it is because we don't know if Walmart's gonna go out, everything else, we're only gonna spend this much of the pot, not all of it. So I'm just saying on that, I would still like to have the projection of what, you know, this upcoming year as far as the tax revenue. So then, and we can still say, hey, we are only still spending 4 million, not 4.5 or 5 million, because that's what we have. And or what we're projected to have in revenue. It just, I don't know, I'd rather see it in here so we can see it here, the bottom line, instead of, and we can still see it throughout the year, throughout the month on there, but at least now we know, well, this is where it is, but this is on here, we could actually follow it better. Because right now, we still don't, it could be $500,000, it could be $1 million. We don't know until we look into there and look all through that and then try to calculate and see what the difference is, because we still don't know,
Well, we do.
but we do.
do.
But it's still, you know, it's a monthly tally, you know, as far as so, I don't know.
But I mean, that's also sales tax. Sales tax is a monthly tally.
Right. And still it's just a projection depending on the year, or the month, month moving forward. So it's still a projection, but I still would like to see it on here, because I mean, it's, the number they're using, that being said, the number they're using, then if it's 4 million, then how do we know that we have that much? You're saying 90%, we could be using 4 million knowing that we're only getting 3.
I'm not
That's kind of what
following
I'm
you.
getting at, huh?
I'm not
We're,
following you,
we're
sir.
already there.
We're already there at that number.
We've exceeded 4 million, and those funds past the 3.5 million
Right.
have went into cash on hand to balance the budget. Anything that goes over is included in the budget. I mean, you see it in your general financials every month, but as far as when we go to budget, if it's exceeded, it's in cash on hand. If you don't hit that mark, then that's also affected.
Right.
It's just safeguarding our assets for the future, not to overexpend.
Further discussion?
Yeah, I want to see the numbers.
All right, moving on. Oh, go
Those
ahead.
numbers are provided for us, right? We just don't get them monthly?
No, you do
You
get
get
them
them.
monthly.
Okay, so
They're
those
in.
numbers are provided for us,
Yes,
right?
and
They're in.
then-
And they're just-
Yes, ma'am.
They're just, the money that we had left over, which is our revenue, which our reservoir, is just moved over to cash on hand. So you can add the cash on hand with your target amount that we have, and we will know what our target amount is as far as our taxes, right? Is that what you're saying?
There's other numbers as well in cash on hand, but basically, you can look at your year-to-date, and like you can see your numbers in the June book is all the way for 11 months. With just 1 month to go, you can get that average.
But the
dividing it
documents
by
is
11.
provided for us to see, right?
I'm sorry, what was that?
The documents are provided for us to see. We
Yes.
just have to know how you're doing it in order to know if it's in there, right? So what you're asking is that you're wanting her to just put it in there every month
Well, put
instead of us just going through there looking at
Well,
it.
no, we put it in there when we're doing this right now, because then we know what that number is. So when we go back and look every single month, then we can see the difference and not have to figure out the difference, because we already know it's essentially it's gonna be right around here, instead of, because then we won't know until we'll
So
get
are
back.
you requesting that?
Yeah, I'm just
that we have
requesting.
it for an annual budget, like our
Yes.
annual budget changes in July? So you're asking her to put that on top for the annual, and then we can track it the rest of the months?
Well, during our budget meeting every single year, moving forward to have that number, so then we can follow that number. Even though it's a projection, we can still follow that number, because it could be plus or minus. Because we're already spending plus or minus X amount of dollars, because that's what we already have. And then they're projecting how much more we could get, you know? Different variables there, but at least we could say, we should have $1 million more, maybe, more or less, and we can follow it every single month, knowing where that money is. And then at the end of the year, we can say, great, we have another $400,000 cash on hand for next year, but then next year we can see it again on top of that, plus whatever other projected revenue for the next year following. So I would like to see it on here, so then I can follow it better.
I don't think there's an issue with that. I think that's something we just need to address preparing for next year's budget.
Right.
You
Well,
know, that's
all I was
nothing.
asking for. I mean, I know we can't do
with
it now
this.
because it's not on here, but I know that there's money that we can't see because it's not on here.
You can see it,
Well-
because every dollar that comes on is in that financial. But what I would like to offer, though, is there for a long time, I would do monthly sales tax, or like at the end of a quarter, and I would do spreadsheets and charts and all those things. I would be happy to do that for you all again, if you'd like to see your sales tax dollars more in a chart form, and, you know, what is being reserved for EDF and those kind of things. I'd be happy to provide that. That might give you a better view of our financial health and those kind of things.
I think that would be good, because I mean, now we're seeing it more than during our budget meeting, you know, and then we can see it every month, but now it's kind of given a quarterly where it's chopped down and we know more about what's going on with the generated revenue and how it's being spent and what we're gonna have on cash on hand later on. So yes, I would love for you to do that if you can, please and thank you.
Yes.
Any other discussion? Okay, moving on.
Item number 3, discussion and planning of Wagoner EMS budget for fiscal year 2025, 2026.
Anyone have any questions?
Is this with the new billing that we trying to get in there as well?
Yes. Anything else? Moving on.
Item number 4, consider approval of amendments to 2025, 2026 City of Wagoner budget or take other action.
Discussion? No
Are there none?
amendments at this time.
None?
Wow.
Let's see, okay, make sure on that. I like the WIDA, is that?
We've already done with WIDA. We've already passed it.
That's right, that's right.
Did we ever find revenue to do the Civic Center idea Ms. Renee had? Ms. Tom?
We said we were going to address it later in the year because they've already got it booked up for, you know, calendar events. And so we were going to try it, I think I wrote the note on there, in November, we were going to talk about it to try to put it in for next year since it's already booked up. You don't want to call people and tell them, you know, that, okay, we've started a new program and you guys can't come Monday through Thursday, so. But I think I did write that in my notes, and, yeah, we're going to address that hopefully to open up Civic Center in the 26th year. So, thank you. I didn't know, but I did make a note of that.
Anything else? Moving on.
Item number 5, consider approval of amendments to 2025, 2026 EMS budget or take other action.
Discussion? Anyone? Moving on.
Item number 6, consider approval of a resolution accepting and approving the 2025-2026 City of Wagoner and Wagoner EMS budgets, or take other action.
Discussion? Entertain a motion?
Make a motion to approve the City of Wagner budget, EMS budget.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second. Please call roll.
Sampson,
Yes.
Wagoner,
Yes.
Thomas,
Yes.
Higginbottom,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Butler,
Yes.
Wilson,
No.
North.
Yes.
Item number 7 is adjournment.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Someone give me, okay, there we go. Have a motion and a second. Please call roll.
Butler,
Yes.
Wagoner,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Higginbottom,
Yes.
North,
Yes.
Thomas,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Sampson.
Yes.
Meeting adjourned at 6:23. I'd like to call the Wagner Public Works Authority Special Call Business Meeting, June 23rd at 6:24.
Hang on a second, I lost my notepad.
No, you're fine, you're fine.
Item number 1, consider purchasing workers' compensation insurance for Widener Public Works Authority employees, or take other action.
Make that motion to approve OMAG another year.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second. Please call roll.
Wagoner,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Higginbottom,
Yes.
North,
Yes.
Thomas,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Sampson,
Yes.
Butler.
Yes.
Item number 2 is adjournment.
Make that motion.
Have a motion and a second. Please call roll.
Butler,
Yes.
Wagoner,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Higginbottom,
Yes.
North,
Yes.
Thomas,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Sampson.
Yes.
Meeting adjourned at 6:25.
Oh, Jesus.
I need to get him to sign this resolution so you can.
Not in it.
James.